So evidence shows that women are less self-assured than men, and that women are presumably inferior in all spheres of life. To succeed, confidence matters as much as competence. Another study also shows that men are almost always more confident than women, even when the women are equally more talented. Why does it look that as though women are less self-assured than men? Well, unfortunately, our guest is not here yet, but hopefully he joins us soon. But ladies, I'd like to come to you. Yeah, all this, I mean, our producers come up with all these researches that...
Okay, the research, I want to believe, the way I see things, I believe it's true.
Okay. That women are less confident.
We are competent, but not as confident as the men.
Okay.
Because whether you like it or not, society tends to give the men more room. So, you know, they come into the world in control. It's a man's world, it's everything. And the woman is, you know, you're competent, you've gone to school, you have it all, and you create the excuses yourself if it's not there. Myself and Tokwe had this discussion, and she said, okay, maybe after marriage. And Folatu was saying, he's seen women confident, competent, doing things, but once they get married, they just kind of slow down. It's because you just want to get into that position of being submissive. The things that you know you have the cognitive ability to do, you want to slow down. You don't want society to call you names. You don't want them to call you a forward, obe, ashani. You do those kind of regular words that you hear here. So you don't take decisions. You don't take action because you don't want to be judged. You're careful. You're so careful that you know you can just completely destroy your ambitions.
Is that the reason why many of us don't make it up to the top level in management?
Well,
because we have lack of confidence.
You don't want to be as rich as your husband.
You see, when we're checking, and I think we should do it across age, I think that default society tends to boost up the men as you're the man, don't cry, don't do this. So men overcompensate with this outward look of I'm extremely confident when they are all mushy, nothing working inside. So, but a woman is brought to, you know, face responsibilities, deal with insecurity, deal with all the issues at the same time. So there's a difference. She might not be able to physically show off that confidence because she'll be perceived as being arrogant. It doesn't mean that she's not confident in herself. When we had a discussion with Nima, I mentioned that, yes, in marriage, you have to put that brain, you have to put that confidence beneath because you have to support the man. So the men have this support 24/7 all through their lives. While the women have to now play the role of supporting the man. So yes, it may come across as the woman not being confident, but it is not, it is a societal thing that leads to that perception.
Well, anytime
it is not a reality.
Shows that confidence.
You say you're being a man.
Yes. They say you want to take over.
Yes. So that's the society has framed us to see it as you shouldn't dare. You shouldn't try it. If you try as a married, in most marriages, the conflict always happens where the woman feels that, conflict always happens when the man feels you want to take my position. Right. You are being too forceful. Okay, maybe you just come in and you buy a generator. They'll be like, you didn't ask me. Or you buy, as in like your every decision needs to be taken through.
You're confident. Okay, let me let Jumoke come in here. Jumoke, what are your thoughts on this? Do you agree that women are less confident than men generally?
I totally disagree. I've never, ever been less confident than any man, my age, older or younger. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Because it is you who determines what you want to do for yourself. It is you who will determine if you allow the societal pressures around you to get to you. It is you who will decide when they say A disturbs me, so I'm going to go and start doing B. Because at the end of the day, your gender only makes you different physically.
Biologically.
So the man is physically stronger. So by nature, they were hunters. Because they were stronger. They could carry the animals, they could farm, they could do everything else. Women were nurturers, so they stayed at home, bore children and, you know, took care of the household so that when the man comes back, he's comfortable. But things have changed. Gender roles, there's a very thin line between them. Nothing stops a woman from being the MD CEO of a company. I have Oluwaloniyo Limited. I am MD CEO. No human being on earth can stop me from being what I want to be. But the society around us, based on their own insecurities, they try to pass on their insecurity onto you. It's left for you to accept or not. The God in the next person is not less than the God in you.
Right.
So nobody should tell you what you ought to be or how you need to behave for you to be happy or successful or confident. Only you can determine that.
I love the way Jumoke has concluded it. We were analyzing how it happened. I don't think I'm a less confident person, but I know how many times my overconfidence has been tried to be beaten down by society, by the people that can call it, you know, I can't take a decision. You know, I can't even declare my own space and say I want privacy. I want, you know, I will be termed certain ways. Oh, you're an educated woman. Oh, you're a lawyer. I've gotten that too many times all my life. You're a lawyer. You want to prove it to us. So you can't even have a discussion and me trying to reason with you and say, okay, see where you're doing wrong. I think what you're doing is wrong. Because you know it's wrong, you shut me up with, you're a lawyer.
Have we somewhat just grown to accept it? Because, I mean, we have conversations with your spouse or like, I don't want to hear.
And you have to keep quiet.
And because of, for the sake of peace.
You keep quiet.
So is it that after marriage, you just have this thing that just brings you down? So you know what, not that you lose your confidence. You don't lose the confidence. You know when to exert the confidence.
Peacemaker.
But you somewhat now know when to also
role.
step down.
That's the thing. Because of our peacemaker's role and because we're meant to keep the home together, in most cases, this issue of this issue of lack of confidence comes to play when women get married. So you might not necessarily feel it as such amongst your peers because you're all just having conversation. But when you are compared to a man who society has placed above, you now need to be sure of how you would manage your person in every relationship and where you find yourself. And I'll cite an example because you might work with a colleague that is a male, and you, by every right, you're more competent than that person. And then the person would answer you, I have someone like you in my house. So those are the societal issues that make you feel like, they are not the same. Here, I'm the boss, or here, I am equally competent. Here, I am confident in my role as the person in charge. In the house, yes, the role play is different. It is the house part that still affects everybody outside the house.
Let me call.
People are not able to
Let me
keep
take
it.
this call from Abuja.
Hello.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, this is David. It's my first time of calling.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. I want to join with this very interesting topic you are discussing today. Bura, you see, the issue of confidence that you are discussing is very interesting one. But let us not misinterpret it because we may be pushing our luck too far. I joined the other lady with the one on the far right.
Nima.
When she said, confidence about a woman is in her man. Woman is all alone until she's been supported. Woman needs, hold on please. Anything woman does, she can do on her own, but she is more confident when someone is behind her.
Nima, why did you say that? Nima, why did you say that?
That's not what I said.
And if someone can be any human being, it can
said,
be her mother, her father, her sister, her husband, or her brother.
Society.
Any human being can support you. That's why God put us into communities. We're born into families because we need human support. It can be any human being. There are many women who have lost their ways because they married the wrong person. So it's not just having a man behind you. Is that man on the same track with you? Does he see the same future that you see? Are your goals and targets in life in the same track? If not, you're going to lose everything that God has put into you. Just because you want to submit yourself to the wrong person.
Let me take this call.
Yeah, the topic we are treating this morning is very nice. But I want to say that the confidence of men, let's be sincere to ourselves. Because the confidence we have is, men, God has given us that power, that edge. And look at it in this way. Let's be somehow spiritual now.
Okay.
Because the Bible says that God has made man. He brought the lips from us, the woman. He made that is the lips. From the man, he brought the woman. So there is no way you can compare the two. But of the truth, everybody has confidence. Everybody has confidence. Okay. And the truth remains that
thank you very much,
men
Divine.
are confident, but men are more confident.
All right, thank you very much, Divine.
Let me quickly take, since he said, the first caller said, I said, that women need support to be confident. No, that's not what I said. A woman is born competent and confident. Society beats it down, is what I said. So we are born confident, competent, but when we get into the world, we are slowed down because we are women. Men are born and they come into the world with the mentality of take over the world is a man's world. They seem to they appear confident because the atmosphere allows it.
Can I pause you for a
now,
quick second?
The atmosphere would not allow a woman, no matter how competent she is, once she's married, to continue on that track, being confident, taking over a world. People would term her. They will call her forward, Asha, all sorts of things. I use those terms. And it is wrong.
So it was misquoting you?
He was misquoting me.
Okay, because when I was seeing my daughter the other day, and she was just dancing and being happy. I kept staring. I'm like, goodness, this girl will grow up into this world, and they'll tell her it's a man's world. She feels that she can do anything. She talks to her dad anyhow, talks to her grandma anyhow. Close the door, and I'm too busy, Mom, Grandma, I'm busy. And I'm wondering, but the world will then tell her that,
she can't say that to her husband.
You can't talk that to your husband. You can't tell your, So
and may I also quickly address the last caller. I'm a Christian, and each person tries to use their holy books as the law,
defend themselves.
as law for all human beings.
Yes.
There are 4,000 religions.
Exactly.
Don't forget your Bible when you are dealing with other human beings.
Right.
Be confident and do what your Bible says. But allow people be themselves.
I have to go and agree because Chude has come in because we're really hoping he will step in by 9:50, but he's here now. Let's take a break. He's our media entrepreneur. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So joining us is media entrepreneur Chude Jideonwo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here. Good to be here again.
We were saving this topic for next week Thursday. What we wanted to discuss with you was the mega party, for the former president Obasanjo's letter,
Restructuring.
the restructuring, federal government's response. That's what we want. And the mega party.
Back on Monday.
And the force.
We'll come and talk about
And
that.
his own response.
And
He did an interview very blue ago.
So
I'm waiting for you.
We'll save that
Which of the interviews?
our Scott missile. We'll
Right,
save it for
for
Monday.
that Monday,
So
okay.
come back on Monday.
Okay.
But so now talk about this our matter that we started already. Do you think men are actually generally more confident than women? Because society. You've heard everybody's views. What are your thoughts, Jen?
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of data that shows that men are more confident than women. Now, the issue is not that men are more confident than women. The issue is, why are men more confident than women? Because confidence is an inner resource, it's a mental
That's all.
resource, an
That's
emotional
all.
resource. It has nothing to do with muscles or place of birth, etc. So if something is internal, if there's a variation between genders, then we have to ask why. And all the things that I have read will confirm that the reason why is because society gives different messages to the different genders. The society says God, I heard it, God created man in
Above.
God created woman, no, man in God's image, and the woman in the image of his rib.
So
it's like, okay, so good. So why is the woman not a big rib? We take many of the Bible. The Bible is an interesting document. The Quran is an interesting document. All these are great documents, but sometimes we mistake parables and poetry for literality. And so we just take those things and we use them to confirm whatever we already
As far as it satisfies us.
What if we take them and interpret them in a way to suit whatever argument?
That's usually what
We're
happens.
not taking them for words that they are.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Muslim, and recently I had a conversation with a woman saying to me, why do you argue with your husband? Why do you even try to, you don't question him. You shouldn't. You're not a Muslim woman. I was like, excuse me,
But
whose book are you reading? The
Yes.
same book I read or not? And I gave her examples of the women, wives of the prophet. They were confident with the prophet would say, I will consult with Aisha, I will consult with Khadija. He consulted his wives because they were confident women and they could, they could own their own.
One of the most fascinating
Why did she read her own?
things when I read the Quran was the relationship between Muhammad and Khadija. This was an equal relationship. This was a complementary relationship. But it was also, I don't know how, it was also almost a nurture. So the nurturing, when we say nurturing in this environment, we use it as a subservient thing. No, but this nurturing was not a subservient tool. He respected her. He listened to her. He came back from the mountain with these commandments, whatever that he had gotten. And the first person he would ask was her. He came in shattered. The first person that could hold him was her. So, the gender roles are historical. They are not theological. They are not divine.
So
they are not they're not even. I mean, they're not necessarily even biological.
Exactly.
We created.
Yeah. So
these
Chude, there's
roles.
this. People think, and I support that. A lot of men are using this. They've been conformed and been told you're confident, you're confident, you're confident, you're confident, you're confident. And it's programming. So you already have this mindset that I'm confident. No matter what happens, I'm confident. And the woman doesn't get that same constant reassurance along the way.
Absolutely.
And sometimes the confidence is masking a lot of insecurity.
Of course, now. Because we don't build men into adults. We build men into aggressors. And so we tell them, we don't just tell them that they should be confident. We tell them that they should dominate. We tell them that they deserve everything that they are given. We tell them they should not negotiate. We build this aggressiveness, which is ridiculous.
Sorry to cut you off. Because I want us to address a major issue that a lot of young girls are feeling, especially those women who are single.
Yes. Oh my God,
They're confident. They have the whole world belongs to them.
I'm telling you.
And yet, to get to that phase of marriage, it's almost as if I need to come down from this horse. Just because I want to wear.
Because I want to get married. It scares me. I sat down with a friend of mine. It scares me how society tells. I mean, in this country, there are women who are millionaires in dollars and billionaires, young women in their 20s and in their 30s, and they're almost apologizing for it. It's like before you tell them anything, say, I've not found a husband. I'm like, stop that nonsense. You know, I mean, there are women, you know, one of my greatest role models is Mabel Shegun, who's one of Nigeria's first female authors. She has been unmarried all her life. And she's living, I go to her house, I sit down with her, I talk to her, she's living a full, in fact, I disturb her. She's like, Chude, no, you can't come on Tuesday. I want to spend time with myself. And she's rich and she's full. And let's have a look mathematically, if we say everybody should find a husband or a wife, we are not enough for each other. So that means that mathematically some of us are going to be unmarried, whether we are men or we are women. Now, anybody who ties their sense of self and identity to a mathematical improbability is setting themselves up for madness. I mean, you know, Apostle Paul, even in the Bible, said that there are some women, single women, if you can, don't get married. So when men put pressure on women to get married, he said, if you can, don't get married. Jesus Christ said there are some people that were born Enochs, and some have become Enochs for the kingdom of God. So even the biblical books anticipate that there will be some people who will not get married. So I don't understand this lack of confidence because of something that may or may not happen for a man or a woman.
Taking you into the married couple, because we had this discussion and I mentioned that, you know, even when you're confident, you get into marriage and the role of submission brings you into, I must be,
of course,
I must submit. And the sacrifices that women have to make. So I was
men always say, Yami for me, as if it's the degree of her suffering that leads to the depth of his love.
I'm saying.
So if your mother didn't do 9 months and she did an epidural, she's suddenly less woman than a woman who, you know, it's just nonsense.
You know,
sorry, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I get you. I totally agree. There's this, so a woman is saying that she had to stop a job.
Yes.
She has to focus on the children, and she isn't earning money, and she's feeling useless and not confident because everybody feels you should, you know, the woman that is out there making money, that billionaire, that's the confident person, and she that is a full-time housewife with children with no money is useless.
Nonsense. You know, I was a pastor who I respect so much was saying the other day that if you're a full-time housewife, you cannot borrow your husband 1 million, you are a useless woman, etc. And I felt, I could sense what she was trying to do, which is to build the confidence of women. But I'm like, no, you don't do that by sending them the same defeatist messages that society has sent them. If you know, Oprah, I was watching this video from Oprah yesterday. She said if she went to a segregated school, you know, in Mississippi, for instance, she wouldn't have been the woman she was because her teachers would have been telling her, you're less than a white person, you're less than a white person, you're less than a white person. If people have been born into situations where they feel like they don't have options, they don't have alternatives, they don't have, you know, they can't do something else, then they find strength within the constraints that they have been given. And you have to respect that strength. Exactly. And, you know, and I think that we often, you know, one of the things I tell young women who ask me questions is you have these rich women, these powerful women who have had so many opportunities and advantages, and they somehow feel like, no, I got this simply by the strength of my character. I'm like, no, you didn't just get it by the strength of your character. You had opportunities, you had an education, you had a supportive family network, and there are many women who just don't have that.
I'd like to talk about the supportive family network. A lot of the things that we pass on into society starts from the family, which is the basic units of any society. And because of this is how we know to do it.
Yes, now. Yes.
parenting is by mistake.
Yes. It's by default. Yes.
So
I swear.
I shall got pregnant.
Yes.
I don't know what to do with this child, though, but I know that my mother just used to beat me
Yes.
anytime I did something
So
like
I
this.
repeat the same
So I
thing.
will repeat the same.
Yeah.
And then I would pick my daughter and take her into the kitchen and allow my son to play football and do whatever he likes. And the programming starts from home.
Of course.
To the extent that a confident girl who could be the president of Nigeria,
Yeah.
she started hearing it from her mother. Hey, you, that you don't do this, you don't do that. Who will marry you?
And then sometimes she hears from her president that she
Then
belongs
she
in the
goes
other room.
outside and that she's supposed to be in the other room. Where though?
When the whole president got there, so what
You know,
did
they always
Where
pray.
do I
Now,
go?
you be the first lady, and I said, I don't have it as a prayer point.
Want to be the- I want to be the
I want to be the
president.
exactly.
So
I- that-
a culture evolves. A culture is a people's way of life. How do we start to correct the norms?
My sister. I think the education is important. You know, I keep thinking about this. That, you know, if you go to the countries, I've been studying the countries that are the happiest nations in the world, Norway, Denmark. From the young age, there's no gender differentiation. You know, it's like, no, you do whatever it is you want to do. And people are taught in the school systems. You know, I mean, of course, these communities are also egalitarian communities, so you can't, but I feel that you cannot predict the kind of family a child will be born into. You can't predict.
Yes.
You can't predict. You cannot change the man.
Yeah.
But you can predict the kind of school the child can be. Can governments begin to, governments, and unfortunately we need governments, to
Thank
begin
you.
to, unfortunately.
Because Mariah likes to say we should do what we
But
can.
no, we can, but unfortunately we do need governments to create that structure where you have an education system that's not just teaching people about biology and physics, but also teaching them about their souls.
And
and
say
their
that a
hearts.
girl,
you
a
know
girl's
that
role is to carry water.
And then in the while we're
Yeah,
waiting,
with textbooks.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and then yes, exactly, and then and then train the teachers. Train the teachers in evidence-based. You show the teachers the evidence. So anytime a teacher says a woman cannot be president, you show the teacher Ellen Sirleaf.
Right.
You show the teacher etc. So the school is important. In the interim, while we're trying to get the schools to be right, which is not going to happen soon, then we need people who understand to begin to participate. Someone just invited me to the board of an NGO called Boys to Men. How can we train boys to be better human beings? So in the interim, can all of us begin to create those spaces, those safe spaces?
Right.
where
And in
people can
creating those
actualize
safe
themselves?
spaces also, we need to also ensure that, aside from the formal education, we're educating our parents.
Yes.
Teaching them the new ways of doing things, educating the helps in the house, because these are people that the children are exposed to. Because I know my help all the time will be telling my son to go and play, and Elizabeth should my daughter should come to the kitchen and wash dishes. I see my daughter wash dishes. She knows how to open the bags of her noodles and everything, try to cook. But the boys, and I'm like, bring him. He also has to be in the refrigerator, start, washing the...
Self-sufficient.
But
Everybody
it's
must
not-
to
One
learn
of our
it.
biggest challenge is that we're not deliberate. We have no intentionality
Intentional.
to what we're doing. So as a nation, we are not
We're all by
planning
default
anything.
now.
The educational sector isn't planned, it isn't cautioned to churn out a particular breed of Nigerians. This is
Across the world, the most important leap that education systems are making in America and the UK and China is emotional intelligence training for young people.
we don't do it at all. At all.
But we have not started the
We
journey.
don't even know what it is.
What emotional
So
intelligence
Japan took our time to produce engineers.
Yes.
The Israel takes our time to produce. Everybody can shoot a gun. What is Nigeria producing in the number? We have this huge population of human resources. Are we deliberate about saying
Everybody
what
wants
are
to be
we?
an entertainer.
or an entrepreneur.
I grew up in a family of mostly women.
Yes.
4 girls and only 1 boy. My father focused on his girls.
Oh,
His
fantastic.
concern was the girls, how they'll be men. And today you hear someone criticizing that. As a Muslim scholar, you have overconfident women within the house. They are opinionated, they are outspoken. And it's supposed to be a wrong.
Yeah.
I remember him make me repair the pressing iron at home because he was bad. He didn't say my brother should come. He takes me and he's a fire engineer. He will make me do that.
That's deliberate parenting.
Now, I now grew up. Having been built well, now start to, it's rather than use what I have within, start to change it. How do we utilize, the confidence that someone has invested in us?
Oh, fantastic.
Just because
let's go on a break. When we come back, that's a very important question. You've trained a girl to be confident.
Then they
But
enter society.
she now enters society and enters her marriage, and she now has to step 10 steps backwards. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back. Welcome back to Your
Thanks for staying with us. Loads and loads of tweets. Go ahead, Jumoke.
Okay, Omo Bolaon says, the question is relative. Just like Jumoke said, it's you in you that should decide for yourself. Society will always want to dictate for you, but you should be able to sieve and pick what suits your life. John says, confidence is a byproduct of proper self-discovery and it respects no gender. It flows from understanding who God says you are, what he has called you to be and to do, and your place in his eternal purpose. Sharafadin Adesanya says, a total housewife who assumed the role of a good wife and mother is far better than a billionaire woman. For a good woman nurtures good and upright children for an upright society, while the latter only nurture herself.
You see, the problem with many of us are Nigerians, and the problem with this person is that we insist on binaries. Because you can say a woman who decides to take care of her family is as important as a woman who chooses to be a billionaire. And he will not fall down and die.
God bless you.
Why does he have to say that one is better? So the self-confidence is a woman should be able to make a choice.
Hallelujah.
I want to be a housewife.
Thank God for people like Oprah Winfrey. Can we thank God for Oprah?
Yes.
Who didn't have her own biological child, but is nurturing thousands of women.
And nurturing thousands of adults.
Her dogs.
Yes. I mentioned to you that many people like me, I consume Oprah like medicine. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, what does Oprah say about this? What does Oprah say about criticism? And she's nurturing millions of souls across the world.
I may even become the president of the country. There are more tweets.
Yes, let me take this call. Obi from First Stack, are you there? Obi? Hello? I think we lost that call.
Somebody's telling her she's too confident.
Gabriel says, cultural indoctrination such as, in quotes, a woman's ultimate success is marriage, brought lack of confidence to womanhood. Okushaga says, it's the way men are brought up to take and stand tall that makes a woman want to sit a bit lower than the man. This is why you see a confident woman who speaks and men will say, is this how you talk at home?
Yes.
This is the meaning as they wish to be confident.
Let me share a story.
and such.
Jadesola Akonde, Professor Jadesola Akonde, the late Jadesola Akonde, who was the first female law professor, said to me that when she was in a meeting in Lasso, a man said to her, you know, if I have a woman like you at home, she said, if you had a woman like me at home, oh, Niserui.
That's
the reality.
Nima has the question for what about when you've cultured this confident woman and then she's plugged into this society that is saying she needs to conform and then she's struggling with a man that is saying that you need to submit and then
We need to train our children to understand that the majority is not always right.
Wait, we have to digest that. Fantastic. That's a good point. So if you're in a house with a man and a woman, and the man is doing, this is how it's done. So the woman, knowing better, will let, daddy is saying this.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that the majority is always right.
At the risk of getting into trouble, I replied and said, just because I cannot say doesn't mean I'm not thinking it. Have you bothered to worry? Have you worried that, you know, I still have what I have up there, whether you want it or not, I'm already built to be confident. So to make her quiet.
By taking it somewhere else, which is that the majority is not always right.
No, it's not always right.
I started with the God in you is not bigger than the God in me. So everybody can believe that this is what is right for you. And all of them will gather together, having meetings, discussing on top of your head, and saying this is what you must do. You must realize for yourself. If God has not said it to me, because there are thousands of tongues saying it, I don't have to listen to them. Because the society, based on what they want for themselves and they may have failed in, will determine that they want to project that onto you. You must realize that their projections is for them and not for you. You know, and stand tall.
I always say that societies are often asleep. Society, people act by default. People are sleepwalking.
There's no intention.
There's no intention. It often takes an awake person to wake people up. MLK, you know, etc. Somebody wakes people up.
Can I take this call? Thanks for calling, please. Thanks for calling, caller. Go ahead, please. Something wrong with our phone lines today.
Hello?
The person is
Yeah,
there.
Okay,
go ahead, please.
He's
fantastic.
there. He's there.
We can hear you. You're live. Oh, we lost that.
We lost
Yes,
You know,
that.
we've
That's
spoken so much about women knowing themselves, but I look at it that the average confident man you see did not discover himself. He does not know anything about his future. He's just confident that he's a man. So why are we so tying the confidence in women to?
It's not even
you can just
it's not confidence, it's certainty.
Hey.
Certainty is not confidence. A wrong certainty. I'm a man, therefore I deserve to succeed. That's why men who are poor often get turned to violence because they get home, they can't provide for the needs of the woman. But society has told them that you will be able to provide.
Yeah.
So when they face adversity, their confidence is shaken. And that confidence shakes their sense of certainty, and then they want to oppress the person. It's not confidence.
So can we
Confidence
raise women
means
with
that
certainty?
we don't need to raise women with certainty. We need to raise
They are
women with
born with
confidence. We don't need to tell a woman that you will get everything you want. We have to tell a woman that you might get everything you want. Like a man, you might not get everything you want. When you get to that place, you must be able to rise up when you fall. You must be able to treat people with kindness. But you must be able to believe that you can always rise up when you fall. That's confidence. Certainty is lying to a person that you can do
Anything
you know, none of us own the world.
Okay.
So it's almost like you want to replace, when women say, some people say men are better than women. Then some people will now say women are better than men. No, there's no need.
There's no need for the comparison.
Men and women are good.
That's all.
Let's see what space.
That's the
Dare
binary.
That's
says,
the binary.
Chude, really, I think being confident is not a gender thing, rather it's a personal thing. I've met many ladies who are even more confident than men. Confidence is all about developing yourself, whether you're male or female, is less important. Bumi says, truth is, men who aren't confident in themselves, as for Divine, who called earlier, God created them in his image, male and female. Ogbolanho says, everyone has got that confidence in them, men and women. All that's needed to bring out that confidence is the inner will. In Nigeria, we've had women who have itoto stood for what they believed in. Olufumilayo, Margaret Ekpo, Alakija, and other examples. Mercy, the last one, says, submission is not timidity, it's simply respect. You can be confident as a woman and be respectful, but also firm and
We have to
assertive.
close
But so
this
why
one
is,
now.
the,
Like-
why is the burden of respect being respectful on the woman? The
Rather
Bible
than
says,
reciprocal.
husband and wife submit to yourselves.
Mutual respect.
So we have to round up the show, and I'd like you to just leave a final word for our viewers concerning this issue, especially to the men.
Yes. You see, I've been saying this for a long time. Our society, Nigeria, many African societies are too hostile and too aggressive. And they don't allow for people to become wholly, fully human. And all of us begin to take it. Those of us who are awake,
Yes.
that's an arrogant thing, but that's really the truth.
Right.
Must continue to consciously, she said that deliberately, intentionally, create safe spaces for compassion and strength and growth for people, men and women. We must deliberately, one human being that is confident and whole and kind and loving can transform an entire community. So we should never think that until we order 1,000 NGO. No, if it's one person, if your the neighbor is oppressing her daughter, giving her daughter wrong messages, you can bring it around the time, you just give the daughter a book. A book with a female role model, a book about Hillary Clinton, a book about Margaret Ekpo. You are investing to change her mindset.
Fantastic.
That's something
Thank you very
that
much
we can do.
today.
Thank you.
So we're going to have you back on Monday.
On Monday, I'm looking forward.
to discuss.
That's the firework.
All right.
No, this is a soft discussion.
This one is soft.
This one is software.
Hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did. Don't forget, if you want to be part of our live audience every Wednesday, don't miss it. The guys have a great time when they come here. And very soon we're going to start having gifts. We're going to have a sponsor giving us gifts. So every Wednesday, you might get to win something, hopefully very soon. So come early, 8 a.m. in the morning so you can join the live show. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.